Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to the Mindfulness Daily Practice. So, today's topic is called, should I meditate or should I watch TV? So what's behind this topic? Well, meditation's hard work. Meditation isn't something that at least it's not something that I go, I can't wait to get to my meditation today. It sure is going to be fun. Meditation is more like kind of I know when I've got to come and do my meditation, it's like needing to go to the gym. Like I'm about to go do a yoga practice, or I'm going to go to the gym, or do something beneficial for me. Not to say that I don't enjoy these things. It's just that I don't consider it a relaxing leisure activity. Meditation isn't about relaxing the mind, or at least mindfulness meditation, which is the meditation form that is going to give you the most benefit. So just kind of relaxing the mind, letting the mind wander, kind of drifting off into la la land. This really isn't the kind of meditation that has the proven scientific benefit, scientifically proven benefit to help you and to help you in your daily life. So I find a bit of resistance sometimes that it's not something that I'm always looking forward to. And that's really what today's topic is about. So should I, what's self-care? What's self-care look like for me? So maybe, is TV the right thing? Should I skip my meditation today? I just don't have enough willpower to do my meditation, so my self-care today isn't going to look like meditation at all. In fact, I'm just going to sit down and watch TV or play video games, or do one of this some other activity, and skip my meditation. So I think one of the important things to know is that meditation is an activity that is not one of these dopamine rewarding activities. I think maybe you've heard of this concept of dopamine detox. So watch TV. I've got one other great example. Like, should I scroll through Facebook instead of doing my meditation? And so watching TV, scrolling through Facebook, playing video games, these are all pleasurable activities that activate the pleasure center of our brains. And so unfortunately, these activities tend to do the opposite of what meditation does. Do they make us feel good for the moment? Yes, they do. But unfortunately, we go back to hedonic adaptation we talked about on Monday my time, is that these kind of pleasurable things, the more that you do them, the more that you need to do them to continue feeling the pleasurable feeling that goes along with them. And so if it's about relaxing through that kind of pleasurable feeling, what you may end up finding is that this desire to keep watching TV or playing video games or whatever your pleasurable activity, and I think the less obvious one here is that there are other addictive kinds of behaviors that don't help long term, and that can just compound the stress that you're feeling. So I'm not to say that these things are bad necessarily. You don't have to cut them out completely out of your daily diet of things that you do, but the advice here is don't let them take the place of your meditation, because there really is a lot of benefit in doing the meditation. And I think for me as well, and maybe you can relate, is that my meditation, a lot of times my stress is like kind of like a spring that's all wound up, and I find that I do get distracted a lot during my meditations, but a lot of times that distraction is kind of like the slow unwinding of this spring, and so I know myself. I've been meditating enough to know that 5 minutes a day isn't enough for this spring. My life's just too busy. I've got too many things going on in my life for 5 minutes to help me to spend that time with myself. Not that 5 minutes does nothing, but I find that I'm much more skillful in addressing the difficulties in my life when I spend more than 5 minutes per day meditating. So this is part of the journey of self-knowledge, and self-care. So self-care is a real thing. I think Barbara mentioned on Monday, put on your oxygen mask before assisting others, and this is certainly true that you're not going to be at your best or you're not going to be at your best for others if you first don't take care of yourself. And so knowing what you need, and I think another reason to use this example of watching TV is that I always, it's like on the airplane, I love to watch movies, right? And I've been on a few meditation retreats where I needed to leave Hong Kong or Singapore, and it was like on the way to the meditation retreat, I was really interested in watching TV. And then when I'm coming home from the meditation retreat, it's like looking out the window and seeing the clouds is enough. There's something really magical that happens when you spend a good deal of time, several days without speaking and just meditating. And you can find that there really is this difference that you realize, or at least in this case, I realized that I don't need these things, that these things aren't things that are required for my happiness, that to be silent, to focus on the present moment instead of being carried away into some kind of fantasy, which is one of the things that TV and video games and sometimes even Facebook and Instagram and etc. do, is bring us away from the present, bring us into some kind of fantasy instead. And so really is powerful to do our practice, even if we think that our self-care requires these kinds of things. And before we get started in our meditation today, I wanted to share one little anecdote from yesterday. Always love to share something that was present that illustrates the point. Is that yesterday I had some encounter with a stranger, and usually I'm very proud of myself that I don't let encounters with strangers, I'm such a great mindfulness practitioner that difficult encounters, I never have difficult encounters with strangers. Well, yesterday was one of those days that I did have a difficult encounter, and it was something that I kept reflecting on, that my mind kept going back to, and each time it came back just like the second arrow, right? And the initial situation happened, and I got upset about it, and then as my day went on, I kept coming back to it in my mind, even though it was already over, even though it was something that I don't need to deal with anymore, and it's simply something that doesn't have any future consequence. But my mind kept coming back and kept reworking this. And during this time, I really thought, I need to do something else to distract my mind from this situation so that I don't have to think about it anymore. And instead, what I did was I went swimming, because I know that some kind of physical activity can be helpful in releasing stress. And I tried during my swimming to stay mindful and to be present the entire time. And I have to say that most of the time my mind kept going back to that event, that I was still bothered by that event. And yes, I think there was some good hormonal physical release by doing some kind of physical exercise, but there was still this desire to get distracted. And so this is kind of an ambiguous example, because if you're really dealing with something that keeps bringing your attention back over and over again, and you go, oh, I need to meditate, I need to be here, and I need to be present because, that's what Ryan says I have to do, or that's what my mindfulness teacher or whoever, that's what I'm supposed to do. I did have one time I was sitting in a meditation studio, and there was a client who was there who was saying, oh, I'm having a tough time with my meditation. I just keep getting distracted by this thought over and over again. And she started to cry as she was talking about it, and said, well, what should I do? Should I keep going at it? And I said, no. No, if you're having so much difficulty, don't injure yourself in the gym. If you're lifting heavy weights and you find that your shoulder starts to hurt, you don't continue to push through it. So if there is some really uncomfortable, unpleasant situation, and you're meditating and it's just eating at you, and you feel like, okay, it's also like in meditation, your right knee is just screaming in pain. And you're like, okay, I need to stay here with my right knee. I can't move because that's what my teacher told me. I got to stay still, and you're putting yourself through this kind of torture. This isn't beneficial. This isn't the way to continue. And so, in these kinds of difficult times, if there is something that you need to do to take a break, to step away for a moment because whatever it is that you're experiencing is too intense, just go ahead and do it. Don't fault yourself because today's a tough day. It doesn't necessarily mean to step away from the meditation completely. Maybe you find a different way. Step away for a few minutes, certainly, like if you're having that challenging time. But can I come back to it later? Can I use some guidance? Can I try a different way? Can I use some mindful movement? What do I need today? This kind of self-knowledge that is very useful as we do our practice. All right. Welcome, everybody. It is time for us to get into our practice. So get yourself comfortable. So we'll do seated meditation today, and be aware as we go through our practice today. Notice when your mind wanders. Notice what it is that's catching your attention, and then try your best to bring your attention back to the present. So coming into your meditation posture, sitting up straight and tall, bringing your back away from your backrest if you can, so that you're sitting up with your own effort. Being aware of your shoulders. How are your shoulders today? Are they relaxed? Maybe squeezing the shoulders up towards the ears, moving them around a bit, and then on an exhale, letting your shoulders come back down. Noticing the face. Do you find any tension in the face? In the eyebrows? In the jaw? See if you can keep your lips closed, but your teeth slightly parted so that you don't clench your teeth. Breathing through the nostrils. So seeing if we can be here fully awake, fully alert, yet relaxed. Can you feel the breath moving through your nostrils? Can you feel air moving in and out of your left nostril? Can you feel the sensations in your left nostril only? Focus the sensations on the skin on the outside. This kind of ring of skin around the left nostril. Can you feel inside your nose, air moving in and out of the left nostril? Maybe your left nostril's blocked today and you're feeling the change in pressure, perhaps, with the in-breath and the out-breath. And now the right nostril. Can you feel that ring of skin around the entrance of your right nostril? Sensations inside the nostril as air moves in and out. Can you feel the difference in temperature between the in-breath and the out-breath? And now both nostrils simultaneously. Can you feel which nostril is breathing more on the in-breath? It's like a bit faster motion in one nostril, and how do you even know that it's faster? Maybe that faster motion of air is cooling that nostril a little bit more. So really tuning in, turning up that high resolution awareness to be aware of all of the details around breathing in the nostrils. Now, how about the exhalation? Is the exhalation in the two nostrils the same? So fully aware of the inhalation and all of the details around the inhalation. Fully aware of the exhalation. All of the details around the exhalation. And what about that moment where the inhalation transforms into an exhalation? The moment where the exhalation becomes an inhalation. It's like bouncing a tennis ball against a wall. For a while, the tennis ball is moving away from you, and then for a split second, the tennis ball is in contact with the wall. It's compressing. It's about to jump off the wall and come back at you. Can you be fully aware of every single moment, every little slice of time that's existing in the present moment? And so maybe you're finding paying attention at the nostrils to be challenging. Of course, you can migrate your attention to your chest or your belly, wherever you find the breath most vivid, most alive. Or if you like, you can stay here at the nostrils, continuing to focus your attention completely on these sensations of air moving through the nostrils, in and out as you breathe. Each time you find yourself distracted, your mind is away from the breath, just take a moment. Here it is. This is what is distracting me. Before gently letting go of it, coming back, reorienting the attention fully at paying attention to the breath. Okay, keep it up, not much longer now. The past is gone, now is the beginning of your meditation. Refocus your attention. And so let's take 3 more breaths with our attention fully focused on the breath as we bring our practice to its close. Fully focusing on the inhale and the exhale. Well done. We'll draw this practice to its close with 3 rings of the bell. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing this time and this space with me. And here with each other as well. So, congrats on making it through another practice today. How'd it go? What was practice like? And feel free to share anything related to this topic about self-care, like choosing to meditate over other activities that and noticing if I've been meditating a lot. Have I noticed my need to do other kinds of activities that I thought that I needed to decrease a little bit? So, how's that? What's that been like for you? Gary shares, I noticed that my mind was very active. Thanks for sharing. And fortunately for me, I'll share with my experience today. And maybe it has to do with focusing on the nostrils, but and bringing all kinds of attentional detail to the process of breathing, but breathing at the nostrils specifically. But I found myself less distracted than usual today. That I was a bit more focused on those sensations than usual. And so it's always good to shift up exactly where your object of attention is. So even if we're focusing on the breath, sometimes focusing on the breathing of the nostrils is different from the breathing of the chest or the belly. Rachel shares, I watch TV 2 to 3 times a week and usually feel guilty because there's so many other important things to be doing. Yeah, well, like I say, this is not necessarily a bad thing. To keep. So do I, right? I spend time watching TV and YouTube, and playing video games and things like that, and it's a way to relieve stress. But just to be aware, to not let it take the place of your meditation, because meditation affects us differently than these kind of active relaxation kinds of activities. So. Or these kind of things that, over time may, and I guess this is the question too. Instead of judging yourself for watching TV or whatever, pay attention to what you're like before, what you're like after. What's a day like that when you don't watch TV? Is your state of mind different? So instead of me telling you what to do, explore for yourself. It's great to have you back, Davey. Welcome back. It's nice to see you again. Well, yeah, and Suzanne shares, I like the idea of watching, but then after I wished I hadn't. And I think, why do we feel that regret? And I think that's a really interesting thing to explore. What is it that causes us to regret? If we did it with intention afterwards, why do we feel bad about it? Or maybe we ended up watching TV longer than we had planned to, because of avoidance of something that we're needing. And it could be avoidance of something to do, or it could be avoidance of something that's really present in our mindscape. So just to just pay attention, be mindful of your TV watching. Thanks to Monte for sharing. Was distracted. External stimulations, it seems like. And Jean shares, was more focused than usual, focusing on the nostrils. Yeah, Demonte shares external sounds. Kate, I've had a lot of resistance to meditation the past few weeks and feel a bit of boredom around it all. It's a good reminder that it's normal, and to remember that it's good for you. Yeah, if you aren't bored, if you've never been bored meditating, then you haven't been meditating long enough. So keep it up. Thanks, Kate, for sharing. Barbara shares, I laughed out loud when my knees started screaming. I observed it and I choose to stand up and refocus my mind on my breath. Thanks, Barbara, for sharing. Tina says, remembering to be self-compassionate instead of self-judging is part of my practice. And Jean says, I noticed that on my inhale, the inhale was stronger on the right than on the exhale, stronger on the left, and then vice versa. When I really concentrated, I inhale and exhale equally. And this is just an interesting thing to observe, and I think one of the reasons why I split that, because it can help to bring that, hold that attention there a bit more easily. Because sometimes we go, what the breath, what am I focusing on? How do I know that I'm breathing? What kind of thing can I focus on? So if we break it down into left and right, then it can be a bit easier, because then I go, okay, I'm really focusing my attention entirely on this tiny area. And okay, this is something manageable. This is something that I can focus on. So thanks. Great to see some people I haven't seen in a while. Christian, so old friend that I know personally from Hong Kong. It's great to see you, Christian. Everybody else, John, I see you there, Key, and everybody else. So if it's your first time joining Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Practice, welcome. I'm here most days, usually 6 days a week, here to talk about some topic that may or may not be relevant, and then to do a 15-minute meditation with you. So thanks for joining. Hope you have a great day or evening going forward. And thanks, John. Hope to see you again, and everybody else. So even if you do not participate in chat, you are not required by any means to participate in the chat. It's just great to have you here, and hopefully, if you keep practicing, well, what does S.N. Goenka say? Is patiently and persistently, and you're bound to be successful. You're bound to be successful. So keep it up. I'll see you tomorrow. Let us close our practice with some well wishes to ourselves and well wishes for each other and for all of humanity. So follow along if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening right now, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. May all sentient life here on this planet and out to the universe, wherever they may be, and including those yet to be born, I wish everyone happiness and peace. All right, thanks for joining. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.